are 7 different levels to developing a really on point and memorable brand. Now, most companies fail at level 3. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what level your brand is at and where you're stuck and how to fix it. All right, let's get going. So the first level of your brand is front and center. It is your brand name. I'm going to walk you through the levels of the brand today through a case study of a college that my team and I at Creative Shizzle worked with, and that is Southwest Texas College. Now, when Southwest Texas College first came to us, they were actually called Southwest Texas Junior College. And part of the reason they came to me and my team to do a rebrand was because they wanted to drop junior from the name and just become Southwest Texas College. Now, we did that for a variety of reasons, and one of the first reasons is just the sticky test. If your name is really, really long and it's hard for people to say and remember, people are gonna forget it. It's gonna not click and not stick. Now, the other reason was they really wanted to elevate themselves from being in people's minds as a junior college, because they really are a place where people can come and prepare for 4-year degree. And so they wanted to drop junior out of their names to really elevate their brand. So the brand name is level 1 of your brand. Now, the next thing that we worked on when we did the rebrand process was level number 2. That's positioning. This is, how do you want people to think of you when you're not in the room? That's a famous quote by Jeff Bezos where he talks about what is a brand? It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. That's really what positioning is. It's also kind of really describing who you're for, why you're for them, and why it really matters to them. So brand positioning is very, very important. And we always start with name and brand positioning before we even get into design and colors and fonts and what the logo looks like. You have to figure out what the words and what the positioning is going to be and who you're for before you ever go to the drawing board. So when you think about positioning, I want you to think about this. Think about one clear sentence that quickly and easily explains who you are, who you're for, and why it matters to them. Now, this can be considered your one-liner, it could be considered your tagline, or you can use this clear statement to create a series of taglines and headlines that you might use for your brand as part of your positioning and your overall messaging map. So when we thought about this for Southwest Texas, we did a lot of research about the demographics of the student population, the location, the region that they're in. And so we really fine-tuned who we were trying to show up for and how do we show up for them and why it matters to them. And that's how we came up with the tagline, Dream Big Here, which you will see in a lot of the assets that's now on their website and in their bio on their Instagram page and on a lot of the collateral that we helped design for them. Dream Big Here. We decided we wanted to go with an aspirational tagline. And then beyond that tagline, we developed a full and large and broad and deep messaging map that has a series of a few things. A brand script, or a brand story, which really clearly defines who the target audience is, what their pain points are, how we as the college are the best guide for them to take them to a place of transformation to where they get to the end result that they want to see for themselves. And so we developed a brand script that tells that story. Beyond the brand script, what we developed next was a series of taglines, headlines, and big, bold pillar statements that we know we want to sort of like beat on a regular basis like a drum. And then that big tagline statement, Dream Big Here, is the big aspirational sentiment that we want to position the college to be a place young people can come, students can come, and they can dream big here, and then they can see their dreams come to fruition through the education that they received at Southwest Texas College. Okay, taking this a step further, let's move on to level 3, which is the brand voice. Now, the brand voice, it supports your positioning. The brand voice is more about your tone. How do you want to sound? Do you want to sound aspirational? Do you want to sound witty? Do you want to sound clever? Do you want to sound professional and polished? When you think about your brand voice, it should be in support of the positioning that you are putting forth into your brand. So when we developed the brand voice for Southwest Texas College, we wanted to do a couple of things. We wanted to develop language that was rooted in the roots of Texas. So we want to sound like we're from Texas, we're from here, we live here, we're a part of this. And so kind of putting our stake in the ground in that Texas vibe. And then we also wanted to be aspirational and inspirational. This is a place of education where we want students to come and to feel inspired, like they are coming here to grow. Lastly, we wanted to really make sure that we focused on the community because it is a small community and it's a very close and tight-knit community. So the brand voice for Southwest Texas College is centered around being rooted in Texas, being aspirational and inspirational, and being very community-centric. We've talked so far about the name, the positioning, and the brand voice. Now let's get into the fun visual part. The next level of branding is the visual identity. This is where you choose your fonts and your colors, and yes, we designed an all new logo. Now, this can take some time, especially when you're developing it for a major brand like that of a college. And one of the things that we did was we had some discovery sessions where we really threw a lot of ideas out from various stakeholders across the college, across the institution, as well as myself and my team, and we just started sketching some ideas. It took a little while to get there, and then we landed on wanting to have the icon of the cowboy, which is the school's mascot, but not have it be cheesy and too cartoony looking. And so we developed a set of logos, and this is going to be common in your visual identity. You're going to have, different types of logo lockups. You might have your main logo, and then for different campuses within the college, we had campus logos, and then within different departments, we had variations of the main logo that were developed for departmental reasons. And so the Southwest Texas College, we have a lot of logos, and we have very specific rules and guidelines around those logos. We finally got to the cowboy. I was almost thinking of like the ruggedness of the Marlboro Man, and also having something that looked highly professional. And we worked amongst our team with 3 of our designers, and we all put our heads together and worked on the logo together and did a few rounds of feedback and revisions with the client. Then once we got the main logo developed, after that we did want to develop a new version of the school mascot. Now, I think mascots are super fun, especially since this is for college. We were able to have a really fun mascot that we developed, and we had another designer on our team who's more of an illustrator. She actually developed the school mascot and the cowboy, who now is a real mascot with a big suit who goes out to the events. And so with this logo, it was particularly fun. The last logo that we created is the athletic logo. So we made another variation that's really got more of that like athletic sports vibe that can be applied and used for athletics. Now, the reason why we did this was because we need the main school logo, we need the main institutional logo, but then we also needed to have, like I said, different departmental logos, different campus logos, but then we wanted to have something fun for apparel that people would want to wear on sweatshirts and t-shirts and a lot of the athletic gear. So that's what the athletic version of the logo is geared towards, and it fits really well with the cowboy mascot that we developed. Now, with the visual identity comes the colors, the logos, the fonts. We actually decided to go a little bit throwback to the original colors that the school used to use colors a long time ago and keep it simple. We went with red and black, and we thought that we did some competitive research, and we looked at what other schools were using in the area, and we also just looked at the roots of the school and the type of overall brand experience we wanted to provide, which is why we settled on black and red as the main colors. We didn't want to add in too many colors to this brand. We just wanted to keep it simple, keep it professional, and keep it kind of edgy and fresh looking all at the same time. All right. Once you have the visual identity in place, the next step, the next level of developing a brand are the values. Now, this kind of can go hand in hand with your brand voice and your brand positioning, but it is slightly different. When you're developing your brand values, that's really, what do we stand for? How do we put a stake in the ground? And so one of the things that we thought about a lot when we were working with Southwest Texas College was about community. And so in their brand values, community and learning and education are really at the center of it. So I invite you, when you think about your brand values, it's not necessarily so much all of the words that you're going to put in your taglines or your headlines on the website, but it is an overall vibe that you want people to feel. It's what you stand for. It's what you are promising to your customers and to the world through your brand. And you don't have to overthink this. Sometimes brands try to get a little bit too preachy, or they list out 10 different values. If you've got one major stake in the ground that you want to put, do the one. Have that be at the core of everything, or maybe 2 to 3. I recommend keeping it simple and not trying to overdo it or trying to be too preachy. Again, this needs to be real. It needs to be authentic. All right, the 6th level of brand is tone. And you might be thinking, tone, that sounds kind of similar. It's slightly nuanced. Your brand voice, as we talked about, is how do you want to show up? How do you want to sound in your language? What kind of language are you using? Your tone of voice could change based on the medium or the platform. So think about this when you're thinking about marketing and sales for your brand. Your tone could be cheeky and a little bit funnier on Instagram or TikTok, and it might be a little bit more professional on LinkedIn. When you think about the university, the tone might be a little bit more fun and activities related on their Facebook page or on their Instagram. But when you think about a letterhead going out to tell a student that they were accepted to the college, that might be more inspirational and professional in tone. So the tone supports the brand voice, but it can be more flexible. The brand voice should stay pretty consistent, and then based on the context or the medium, you can switch up your tone of voice a little bit here and there. Now, the last level of brand is the brand experience. I want you to think about the last time you went into a store and you had a really great experience, or maybe you were traveling and you were in a hotel or shopping at your favorite store and you had a really great experience. What about it was that experience that was so great? What did it make you feel inside? Why was it great? That's the brand experience. It's that feeling people walk away with when your brand touches them. Now, for Southwest Texas College, we thought a lot about the experience. We really wanted to create an environment with the brand that students and that the younger generation would feel really proud of and would latch onto. One of the things we talked about as we were working on the rebrand was we wanted students to want to wear t-shirts and buy swag that they're proud of. And you get that through a good experience with the brand. You get that through creating an overall consistent, clean, fresh, approachable experience. Now, all of that experience happens through those first 6 levels of branding that we've already talked about. The name, the positioning, the visual identity, the values, and the tone. All of those things work together to ultimately create the brand experience. And we wanted to create a brand experience where students would feel joyful and would feel excited about coming to college and would want to be a part of it and apply. And so we thought about all of those things as we were developing the new cowboy mascot, as we were developing the new athletics logo, as we were developing the tagline, Dream Big Here. All of those things went into deep consideration to create that overarching brand experience. All right, so I've given you a lot to think about today. If you feel like you're getting stuck in any of these levels of your brand, reach out, click on the link below, and let's set up a call. We'd love to help you with your brand, whether you're getting stuck on the visual identity or the values or the tone of voice. Any and all part of it, we're here to help. Just book a call with me and my team at Creative Shizzle, and we'd love to help take your brand to the next level, just like we did with Southwest Texas College.